This is Viewer Takeover. We film every Monday night. We bring it to YouTube every Tuesday. That's the day after Monday. So it makes sense, common sense. Otherwise, there's a big gap between the filming and the airing. I'm Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole. And the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station, no Rumble.
Yes.
No. Nothing.
You almost did it. You almost had it.
No,
so
nothing.
Close.
R.
Got it. You got it. Now the hand gesture. You can keep the hand gesture.
Nailed it.
Jazz hands. And that guy on the right hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground. PSVR. Underground.
Woo, boy. I'm fresh out of the headset. I've probably still got the lines on my face. Just in a 3.5 hour live stream of Hitman 3. Most likely the topic of the evening. Should be the topic of the evening.
Your live stream is the topic of the evening.
Should be. Or
No.
shouldn't be.
The game.
And on every Viewer Takeover, we like to thank a whole lot of people. And the first person we want to thank is Kramer3K for that awesome, fantastic Viewer Takeover introduction.
Quite a journey through your PC. Good to see all those folders. I feel
So
like a lot
many
of
folders.
legwork went into this. It's good stuff.
You know, I had heard from a lot of the cats that Kramer was a funny guy, but it's nice to see it firsthand.
Never believed it till now.
Yeah, no, it's if you pay attention to all the folders and everything listed there, that's good quality entertainment right there. I was entertained, and I'm supposed to be doing the entertaining.
You know what's funny is that he sent that to me back in August.
Oh wow! So you're still digging up from the archives. That's good.
Unexpectedly, I just did a search thinking we didn't have one this week, and I was like, holy crap! I remember getting this one, and just this is how organized I am, guys. It's real
That feels
bad.
like the story of every week lately. You're just like, where did this one come from?
Right.
Well, it's pretty good.
So basically what I'm trying to tell everybody out there is if you haven't seen your Viewer Takeover introduction and you sent one in, either A, resend it, or B, shoot me an email and be like, dude, where the hell's my Viewer Takeover introduction? Because it's not because I didn't like it, it's because I lost track of it. I apologize. But send that email or your Viewer Takeover introduction to withoutparole@gmail.com. And it sounds like if you send one anytime in the next 3 or 4 days, you'll be on next week's show. But of course, Kramer3K is not the only person we want to thank. We also want to thank these illustrious cats down here. These are cats who went to patreon.com/withoutparolegames. And if you guys don't know already, we don't ask you for any money. That's ridiculous. We're just happy that you're here. But Without Parole is able to survive because of people like these guys, the people who went to patreon.com/withoutparolegames. And they're donating $1 or more every single month. And that's how this channel really stays afloat. And that's how it really keeps running. And we thank you so much for it. But especially, look at our Patreon leaders. They're going across the screen right now. MTM the Game Cat, T. Flaros, and Joshua McCrory. Thank you. I can't speak. Thank you. Thank us all so much. We love you. But AJ, who else do we need to thank this week?
Brian, Dave, and Game Cats, we would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing their name on YouTube to something Game Cat, something Game Cat related, or something Game Cat adjacent, as you, Brian, or something Game Cat adjacent would like to say. And all you have to do is leave a comment on any video, not a live stream, and just put hashtag Game Cat, and that's how we find it, and it makes it really easy. And then you get a shout out, like these 6 new Game Cats we need to welcome to the Game Cat Dojo.
Big numbers. Big numbers.
Starting with Tax Refund, the Game Cat.
He did it.
Ching.
Yeah, I've known Tax Refund forever. I'm surprised he wasn't already the Game Cat.
For sure. I hope
We've
it was
also
a
got
big tax refund, man. I hope you're able to buy a PSVR 2 headset with it.
Cooter Critters, the Game Cat adjacent adjourned.
I don't get.
Right.
I don't get it.
I don't get the adjourned part. Yeah,
I don't either.
It's glorious. It just keeps on going, and then it's adjourned. Hitman 3 Game Cat Edition.
All right.
That's probably one of those options on the store because there's like 50 million to choose from.
Yeah, very topical. I like it, man. I like it.
Gizmo,
Ooh.
the Gremlin Game Cat.
Well, this doesn't make any sense. Gizmo wasn't a gremlin. Gizmo was a mogwai.
True. Mogwai. We've also got Sega Dreamcat.
Oh, I like
Nice.
this one.
I bet you did.
That's my favorite one this week.
And last but certainly not least, yeehaw, coming in hot, we got the Game Cat Cowboy Dan.
Ooh, Cowboy Dan.
Rolling.
Nice.
I love my Sega Dreamcats out there.
Okay, so of all 6 of these cats, which one do you want to see a viewer takeover intro from next week?
Sega Dreamcat, please.
Yeah,
Oh, my back hurts.
only because I really feel like there's gonna be some woohoo and cowboy hats. I want Cowboy Dan to be sending his in. If you change your name to GameCat, make sure you put hashtag GameCat in the comments below, as AJ already said, and we'll give you a shout out on next week's show. But Dave, what do we really do here on Viewer Takeover? I'm so glad the coffee works this week.
Oh my goodness. Well, what we usually do, Brian, is that we collect questions from all over the internet, but mostly YouTube and Discord. Actually, only YouTube and Discord. So join our Discord below. We've got a whole channel for this stuff. Drop your questions in there. We'll scour through them, or leave a comment on any YouTube video on this channel with a hashtag Viewer Takeover, like the name of the show, up there in the title. And then we'll find it, and we'll put you on blast. The whole internet gets to hear what you have to think. So, AJ, you want to kick us off this week with the first question?
Sure. First question comes from Billy Paul, the Game Cat from PSVR this week, and says, "Hey guys,
Hey guys. Hello.
Hi.
I've been loving Hitman 3 in VR, but I haven't picked up Hitman 1 or 2 yet.
Liar.
Are they worth buying? And what are your favorite levels in the trilogy to play in VR? Hashtag Viewer Takeover like a pro."
Well, the clear answer to the first question is yes, they're totally worth buying. Unfortunately, you probably missed the sale that was going on where they were incredibly priced. I mean, I think I got 1 and 2, some DLC for maybe like $30 total, $35, something like that.
Same
And that's
here.
a lot of content. I mean, when you import this stuff into Hitman 3, you've got 3 full campaigns where, I mean, you could easily spend 20 hours just doing your first run through of each mission. And the game is designed for you to go back and keep playing them again. So yeah, that really expands what you have to do in there. And some of the levels are so great. We'll talk about that in a minute, our favorite ones. But like, you should see all there is to offer. And it's all in the Hitman 3 engine, so there's no reason to not, check them out.
Yeah, I agree. They're totally worth buying, and they're actually like shockingly impressive. I was sort of thinking that Hitman 1 and 2 weren't gonna look as good as Hitman 3 when we jumped into VR, but I think some of the most visually impressive levels are actually from the first 2 games.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the whole thing with Hitman series is whenever they release a new one, you put the old stuff into the new engine. That's what they did with 1 and 2 flat, and so it's like, of course it's going to look good because it's in the same engine as all the new stuff. Really, really well done the way they pulled this off.
Yeah, definitely worth buying. Like Dave said, if you missed the sale, then that sucks. But I mean, you can always
It'll
play
be
through
on
Hitman.
sale again.
Yeah, you can play through Hitman 3 and get the most out of that, and maybe wait for a sale. But yeah, if you're impatient and you have lots of money, absolutely.
Yeah.
So guys, what are your favorite levels in the trilogy to play in VR? And I will preface this by saying I'm betting you guys have played more of each of the games than I have. I've played a solid chunk of each one, but I haven't seen all of the levels in each one. Probably about half of each at this point.
I've played the first one. I've mostly played flat, right? But I did go into, is it called Hokkaido? The final level, Hokkaido,
Japan.
And man, it is stunning. And the second one, I'm about halfway through on the VR. 3 is the only one that I've played all the way through. I've now played it twice. And what I love about this series, man, is that there's a lot of levels that have different themes and different things, different strengths and weaknesses. Some of them have the best storyline, kind of thrilling chase experience. Some of them have the most impressive, just like sprawling cities to wander around. There's so many that offer something really, really different. And as for the favorite, I think this is going to change, to be honest with you. But as of right now, I'm probably going to have to go to Chongqing, because it has this really cool kind of cyberpunkish vibe. And then it also there's a moment, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but there's a moment that really gave me some, reminded me of some Deus Ex level stuff that was going on, and some boss fights from that game that looked familiar. So for right now, I have so many different favorites. I'm going to go with Chongqing, but I could also give a big shout out to Dartmoor, which is like the Sherlock Holmes level, which is fantastic. And then, of course, again, no spoilers, the final level I wish I could go more into detail about that, but no spoilers. But the final level of Hitman 3 is really good.
John King's a great choice, man. I think that is the one of all of them that was just visually so impressive. I mean, just
When you catch those reflections in the puddles of those neon lights, it's like gorgeous. Like you're like, oh my god, they're pulling this off on base PS4s.
right,
Like, how did they do this magic?
Yeah.
right. And you look up and you just see like this like sprawling corridor of shop. Like shop front after shop front after shop front with all these neon signs, and it's just like it seems like you can look endlessly out into the distance.
You
It's
can.
it's
You
so
see a bridge. You see another city. You see more skyscrapers. There's a train
Yeah.
that's going around the level the entire time, and then there's like what are those like little sky trolley things? Is that what it's called? Like a it's
Monorail, maybe, or in
like kind of like the
Orlando,
thing
it's
like a ski lift looking thing almost, but it's like
oh, okay.
it's like a transportation thing. I
Gotcha.
forget what they're called, but it's got like all of that stuff going around. Then you have all the stuff in the city, and then like you said, this I think one of the most impressive things are the reflections,
Yeah,
the reflective surfaces throughout not just Chongqing but the entire game are just like wow. You just really look, just adds so much detail and polish to the game. It is so polished visually.
Dave, what's your favorite?
I'm gonna go with it's a DLC for the second Hitman game, and it's called Haven Island. It takes place
Ooh.
in the Maldives. This is like one of the coolest things to me about Hitman in VR is the ability to like transport you to these like fancy locales, and especially when nobody's traveling right now, like it's
Right.
cool to be able to experience all these just larger than life locations. And that one for me though is just like this perfect tropical environment. The water effects are gorgeous.
Beautiful.
If you go wading in the water, you'll notice like little schools of fish swimming around and stuff. And just like the design of the island and everything, it's really nice. And as a Florida guy, there's a lot of stuff that it reminds me of going on vacations when I was a kid. Like he's in the Shark Reef lobby or whatever. Like all this silly stuff. But
Did you
I,
go
I
on the
really like that level.
Did you go on the tower yet?
The tower.
There's a tower in that level.
I don't think I've been to the tower
I
yet.
came across it by accident.
Hmm.
There's like a tower that you can like climb just about to the top of and look around the entire. You can see the whole island from the top of it. I got like I just didn't even care. I like saved my game and I just like punched everybody out and immediately went and climbed the tower. And I was like, I have to do this. I have to see what this looks like. And it was cool.
Somebody in chat or somewhere, maybe on Discord, was telling me that their favorite experience in Hitman so far was in that level, just reclining on the recliner at his beachside little cabana.
Yep.
That's great.
And just like you're actually listening to a mission story unfold as you do that, but the view, it's really they did such a good job on the environments and they're not blurry. It is kind of transportive. Like you feel
Yeah.
like you're in these really cool places. So it's hard to pick one, but for me that one stands out. And I also really like Miami, which maybe I've just got a thing for the tropical
Right.
levels. But yeah, those are both really cool.
Nice. Mine is, and I definitely think mine's going to change as AJ says it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think the reason I love this one so much is because of it was the first time I had seen a level in Hitman that was this diverse, and that's Sapienza, Italy.
Oh yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, because it starts off and it's like these these really well crafted like little alleyways almost, but it's they're basically it's like a quaint little shopping district that just looks and feels so lived in and heavily populated. There's people standing around everywhere. There's little scooters like leaning against the side of the walls, and everything just feels like really well crafted. It doesn't seem like, oh, here's a wall texture that's copied and pasted 17 times to cover it. It just everything looks different from the rest of it. Cobblestone streets, there's a church over here and a beach over here, and just plenty of people hanging out at the beach. And like I was like, man, this is crazy, And here I am and exploring this huge area, and I push, was it up to see your targets?
Yeah.
And they're way over there. They're not even
Yeah.
remotely close to where I am. I'm like, wow, it's like this whole area could be a level in itself. And I was like, and I gradually, over the course of it took me 2 hours to finish this level. And that's something that I don't think Hitman gets enough credit for. As a new Hitman player, I'm jumping in and saying, why doesn't anybody talk about this? I'm sure people have been talking about this for years.
Well, yeah.
I'm that guy saying, why isn't anyone talking about Astrobot? We've been talking about Astrobot. Trust us. But it's like, holy shit, man! It took me like 2 hours to get to the mansion where my two targets were, and then once I got into the mansion, it was like almost an entire other level where I was making my way through that, and then finally, I won't spoil what the end of the level is like for people who haven't played it yet, but it's dramatically different than the rest of them. It's just it just feels like it just keeps evolving and evolving and evolving. And I was like, holy shit! 2 hours ago, I was standing on a beach. It's like, it's crazy that this is one level in a game.
Yeah.
So that's but to me it was like super impactful because it was the first time I experienced that in a Hitman game, or maybe any game, I guess. That's why Hitman is sort of blowing my mind right now, because it's doing things that, like, as a new Hitman player, these are things I haven't really experienced before, and so yeah, I'm definitely interested in plowing through a bunch more levels, because I'm sure there's a lot more experiences like that.
Yeah,
and
just to be clear, Sapiens is in the first one, right?
Yes. It's like
Hitman
the second level of Hitman 1.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I get so curious when I hear like people having good experiences with the stage. I want to be like, how did you do it? Because I'm sure I did it differently than you. But then you get into spoilers and stuff, and I don't want to.
Well, Dave, let me tell you how I did it.
Spoilers, yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell you how I did it. I went and stole a bunch of people's clothes for like about 45 minutes, and then I took a machine gun and just mowed everybody down for the next half hour.
It works.
That's how
it
seems to be my MO constantly. I'm like, I'm going to be super crazy and stealthy, and no one's going to see what's happening until I kill one guy, and I'm like, fuck it, everyone deserves to die.
My secret is you can knock people out. Don't worry about. You don't have to kill people, but you can certainly club them with a wrench, and they'll live.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
And that's how you,
Kill them.
Right. All right. Next question comes to us from Tax Refund, the Game Cat. On last week's viewer takeover, I believe, wrote, with Hitman VR, which is getting 9s and 10s, the highly likely announcements of Resident Evil 8 VR, Gran Turismo 7, and even the promised enhanced Grand Theft Auto 5 coming this year. Is this possibly the year of dreams? Hashtag viewer takeover. If so, do you think that will be enough to get PSVR to 10 million headsets? Or will we also need a Call of Duty VR to get it to be mainstream? What do you guys think?
Well, obviously last year was the year of dreams. But no, I don't know. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it's highly likely that RE8, GT7, and GTA 5 will be VR just because Hitman was so good and everyone loves it and it's getting 9 out of 10s. Like, they would have made that decision way before anybody had even considered reviewing Hitman years and years ago in the development process. So the effects of this game getting good reviews is not going to snowball into other games that weren't going to get VR getting VR this year, if that makes any sense. Like, if they were planned for VR, they're already VR supported. This isn't going to change anything. But I think that at least one of these games might end up being VR, and that'll be great. I mean, RE8, GT7, either one of those two would be huge system sellers, I think. GTA 5, I'm not totally sure that we're going to get that. But I don't think we need a Call of Duty. I really don't think anybody needs a Call of Duty at this point. I don't know. What do you guys think about the Call of Duty thing specifically?
I mean, here's my, with Call of Duty specifically, yes, it would be great. Would I play it? Yes, I would really enjoy it, especially with an aim controller. But is that the thing that's going to get PSVR to be mainstream? No. Minecraft didn't help get PSVR become mainstream. Skyrim didn't. Borderlands, Resident Evil 7. All of these games didn't bring PSVR to the mainstream. We're sitting at 5, maybe 6 million units sold. That's we're tens of millions away from it being considered mainstream. So
yeah, really, I mean, the idea of replicating just an existing huge game franchise as the thing that like makes or breaks VR seems like a really limited imagination way to look at the future of VR. Like, to think that the only way we could make it work is if we just replicate the dumb schlock that everybody wants on flat screen games. Not to say that people who like Call of Duty are stupid or anything, but like, it's just a repeat of the same fucking thing every year. It's like NBA 2K1 you're going to get another Call of Duty, and it's going to be the same damn thing. There's not much inventiveness there, and VR is all about inventiveness and shaking up how you interact with the game and giving you new possibilities and stuff. And so, I don't know, it might be cool to have a Call of Duty, but is that what we want to focus on? Like,
I think
focus on, but if we can get one, then I'll be
it would be
thrilled.
cool. I'll play the fucking thing. I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be the be-all, end-all of like what's going to flip the switch and make everybody like VR.
I really think bridging the gap between games, mainstream games like Hitman, like Skyrim, like Resident Evil 7, I really feel like bridging the gap between those games and then these inventive games you're talking about, for the VR enthusiasts that want to be more immersed, as immersed as possible, have these amazing, really just mind-blowing interactive features that really help the experience. I really feel like it's kind of a combination of those. You know, you said that when you say that Resident Evil Skyrim didn't do those things, I feel like they did. They didn't. It's not just like one game is going to make everything go like VR go mainstream. Otherwise, Half-Life Alyx would have done that, which I think it. But I believe that all these things push towards that. I believe that all these things add up over time and will eventually get us there. After playing Hitman, I completely understand wanting these games that are not VR ported into VR and stuff and stuff. And I think the best of them are going to have the most immersiveness, have the best implementation of VR common features with VR enthusiasts. But I really think that's what people ask for, and that's what people do want. So, yeah, I think it's not necessarily. I don't think Call of Duty is going to maybe do the trick, but something like a Cyberpunk 2077 or something huge that comes along in the future could definitely have that kind of impact where it's just like, I get to play this in VR. Like, whoa.
I don't think at this point it's software. I think PSVR 1 had its chance, and over the last 4 years, it's proven that people didn't want what was given. Whether that be because of the light tracking, whether that be because of the move controllers, lack of analog sticks, the lack of AAA games coming on a regular basis, whatever the deal is, or people thinking it's just not there yet. You know, people try a game, it's like not sharp enough, the resolution is a little blurry. It had its chance, and so like I really think that people aren't looking for a AAA game anymore for PSVR 1. I think people are looking for new hardware, and I think that PSVR 2, the sales for PSVR 2 will like double PSVR 1 sales in half the time. I think new hardware is what's going to push VR into the mainstream, when it's like a smaller headset, when it's easier to use, when it's less wires, and people can just throw it on and jump in and go, holy shit, I'm playing Resident Evil 8 in VR, and look how simple it is, and look how almost identical to the TV screen it looks. These are the kind of things that are going to sell people. And so I think new hardware is what's going to help VR get mainstream, not a game for our current hardware.
Well, I think a good example of that, too, is the Quest 2 versus the Quest 1. By all accounts, Quest 2 has vastly outsold the Quest 1. And really, it's the same games. Like, there is no game that you can only play on Quest 2. They all run on both headsets. But the hardware is a little better. Maybe they marketed it a little harder this time around, I think, probably. And the price point is a huge part, too. But these are things that are not software related at all, because the software was already there. Right. And you can still play it on a Quest 1, no difference. But they're selling more of the second one because, I guess, in some way, the hardware is more attractive to people, the price point's better, and they're more aware of it, maybe. I don't think Sony got the awareness out there. Like, I see Oculus commercials all the time now. If you watch an NBA game, there's Oculus shit on the side of the sidelines, like everywhere. And I don't think Sony ever did that. And in some ways, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be about the number one game that's a system seller. Because if nobody knows about your platform in the first place, even when they hear about that game, they'll be totally in the dark and they'll be like, how do I buy it? What the fuck do I do? Which one do I get? Like, you got to get the awareness out there first, and then people will, hear there's a cool game on it.
Yeah. Please no. Very exciting. Very exciting. But I think that's going to do it for another episode of Viewer Takeover. Remember, if you didn't like the questions that we answered this week, the only person you have to blame is yourself. Remember, go subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ at The Underground, PSVR Underground.
He's always got that gun ready.
He always does. It's a little creepy, isn't it? What's going on over
He
there?
sleeps with it under his pillow.
Also
Just
got
in
move
case.
He also
controllers,
sleeps at that desk.
and I've also
You
got
don't
my
want to know where he
little-
keeps those when he sleeps. Those move controllers.
He's pulled
I
those
don't
out of
have a
nowhere.
problem. You guys have a problem.
This was your takeover, and we're out.
You know, Brian, I was thinking before this came on, I was flipping through TV channels, and Jersey Shore has this thing where they call Thursday Jersey Day because that's when Jersey Shore comes on. We should, instead of saying this comes out on Tuesday, we should come up with something like that so people know. You know, like don't bother me tonight. It's Jersey Day. You know, something like that for viewer takeover in games.
You know, if you want to
Start thinking,
imitate
start
something,
thinking.
you should imitate something that's actually good.
Jersey Day's catchy, and I would love to
We have
use the
Catterday,
excuse.
man. Where
I'm-
you been?
That's
we have-
good.
we have
Catterday's not
Catterday.
bad. Catterday night live streams.
Catterday morning live streams.
I'm just doing this because I didn't get to say anything at the beginning, and AJ did. So go ahead, Brian.